Those heightened security measures happening now at home and abroad following Saturday night's airstrikes against Iranian nuclear facilities. Let's bring in NewsNation national security contributor Tracy Walder. Tracy, good morning. I've been watching your coverage since we saw the strikes overnight. Thanks for joining us this morning. What are your concerns for safety for Americans, not only here in the U.S., but also abroad?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Hena. I have a lot of concerns about safety. I've actually been talking about it for a few weeks now, what retaliatory attacks here in the homeland could potentially look like. My biggest concern actually is cyber. Iran is pretty cyber capable, to be completely honest. Obviously, China is the best in the world, but Iran is very cyber capable. They have launched denial of service attacks successfully here in the United States against banks like Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase. So that is hugely problematic. I know Marcus talked actually about soft targets, and that is where I'm the most concerned that sleeper cells may attack. So I do not like the term sleeper cells. They are terrorists. That's what they are. That's the damage that they are inflicting. Those are what I would imagine those lone wolf attacks would look like. So I am also concerned in terms of cyber, how China may become involved. They are allies with Iran. They are some of the best hackers in the world. I don't know how they will align themselves here. I suspect they're waiting. But cyber and those lone wolf attacks are what I'm the most concerned about.
You mentioned those soft targets. How are authorities doing what are they doing differently this morning to protect these so-called targets? Like Marcus mentioned, we're talking churches and tourist attractions.
So my guess is that they are obviously stepping up manned security. So you will see an increase in terms of police and law enforcement presence. But I also think, too, that they have all hands on deck in terms of monitoring online threats, because that's where a lot of these originate from. They originate in the chat rooms and things of that nature. So my guess is they are also very much focused on those online threats as well and where they could potentially manifest.
Department of Homeland Security head Kristi Noem posted on social media. She said this: "We will work increasingly to protect the American homeland," end quote. Do you think federal forces will get involved in protecting U.S. cities?
I don't think they have much of a choice. I think they probably have to. I think if you look at, NYPD, obviously the largest and best police force, quite frankly, in the U.S., they are very well equipped to be able to protect their city. But we do have smaller police departments, smaller cities, and we can't ignore that they could be targets as well. And I do think that they will need federal assistance simply because they just don't have the manpower at this point.
You mentioned Iran is cyber capable. What are your sources telling you about Iran's capability to strike within the U.S.?
I mean, that is incredibly high. They have been striking actually within Israel. We just really haven't been talking about it as much because it doesn't impact us. So, I would say with Israel, they've really been going after their energy grid, water supply, those kinds of things. They have not been entirely successful in doing that, which is obviously good. But here in the U.S., I am not convinced that our ability to mitigate cyber attacks is top notch. And if I could go into that for just a minute, I'd like to explain why. We have some instability at the top right now. We are looking at, Trump and Gabbard essentially disagreeing and fighting on Iran. And that creates instability really from the top down and makes it very, very difficult to stop these kinds of attacks.
Tracy, how concerned are you about sleeper cells, you call them terrorists, being activated in the United States?
I'm very concerned. Look, we have had individuals that have tried to assassinate President Trump that were members of the IRGC that were here in the United States. We've also prosecuted individuals that were working on the behests of the IRGC here in the US, as well as brought charges internationally against individuals. So in my opinion, they're already here and they have been here for some time. And we also have to remember Iran heavily funds groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, who also may be here already in the United States.
Tracy Walder, like I said, I was watching your coverage all night long on social media. I know you haven't gotten any sleep. I really appreciate you joining us this morning. Tracy Walder, thank you.
Thank you, Hena.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.